One nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Roll call. Does anybody have any conflicts of interest to announce for tonight? Okay. We have the consent agenda.
Move to approve the consent agenda. Second?
Discussion, questions? All in favor? All right, approval of the minutes.
Move to approve with one minor correction.
Second?
Second. Under committee reports, the third sentence down, it's the fire department that will be on standby. It says it's the police department that'll be on standby. Oh, I just agree, the fire department will be on standby. At the, what we plan.
Okay, any other corrections or comments? All in favor? And let's put same deeds, board of assessors. Now we have supplemental tax law. On that? Did you look here? Did I do that again?
You did, thing or two there.
It's just seeing it on the page.
No, well, it's. We got quick claim deeds, we don't have any quick claim deeds.
We need to approve the election.
Okay, I have a motion on that.
Move to approve the 2026-2028 election clerk appointment.
Second, go by Judge Alphonse.
Any discussion? Do we have a list?
There's a list.
Yeah.
Oh, I know.
Yeah, so we have Gail D'Agostino, Eric Bluthroyd, Stephen Sterno, Sue Mackey Andrews, Eric Laser, Jules Dow, Carol Pinkham, Jennifer Sylvain, and David McDermott.
And then there's a whole page.
Another page? Did I not get that?
I still wish we could copy them on one page so that we don't have to go back and forth.
No, oh, one side.
Yeah.
You know, make it one document so that we can pull out election.
Yeah.
Versus.
I know where that one is. I shuffle my papers around and now.
There you go.
I'm back
Sorry,
or
Steve.
something else.
Sorry, Steve.
Well, I'm reading the rest. Do we have a motion? Well, we have a motion. Anything else?
I would just appreciate people for coming forward to do this.
You want their names, I'll cut the other side, or you're okay.
It's in here somewhere. Okay, all in favor? Okay. So now we have supplemental tax warrant. Have I seen this right? Oh, I'm in the. Last one. Would help if I had. That's,
Today's agenda?
yeah, today's agenda.
That would do.
All right.
Do whatever, because you know, for not going to hire.
We know the last meeting went all fine, so we have to stick with that. That's why I didn't see it. Okay, town managers report then.
No.
No,
Where are you going?
Somebody give him the right.
I gotta get going. All right, right, so this is approval of sale of tax acquired property. We have several. We have them in our packets. We've seen these before. So do I have a motion?
So I move to approve the sale of the tax acquired properties as listed.
Second,
Okay, is there any further discussion about any of these properties? Any questions about the new process that we're in now this year versus the previous year?
On behalf of the admin committee, I would just say we spent a lot of time, looking at these and making the decision to bring these properties forward. And it is a new process to be using a realtor rather than, in the past, we would have just been putting them up to bid ourselves. So we're learning along the way. But I think we're pretty confident that these all need to be.
Favor? Okay, now the town manager's report. I got that one right. All right, at least
On the back.
1 for 5.
To thank everybody for coming out for the Memorial Day parade despite the rain. We still had a really good turnout. I'm glad everyone decided to keep the small ceremony that we did have. It was really nice to have that. Next up, our new website launched today. Staff is still learning the ropes of it, not everything transferred over as it should have. And even though we've been fixing things, as Julie found out a few times, certain buttons weren't clicking and getting things saved. So bear with us as we try to get the correct information on there, and additionally adding more stuff onto the website as well. But you will see that it is more user-friendly, more appealing, and hopefully it'll be easier to get to things as well. Next up is workshop, which is the recreation economy for rural communities. That is being held June 10th and 11th at Central Hall Commons. This is a grant opportunity that has allowed us to have federal planners come in to town to assist us on how to to grow our recreational economy, and also how to fill our downtown with businesses and welcoming and that, and kind of assisting us in that aspect. The final document that we'll get from this will allow us to apply from some grants, hopefully, and also open some other avenues for funding, which is desperately needed. And then if you'd like to join for any of the workshops, June 10th evening workshop starts at 5:30. There's going to be a dinner, 6 o'clock start time. And then the Thursday one is an all day. You can come for the sections, but preferred all day because morning continues into the afternoon portion. And we are asking that people do register, so I know about food, how much I have to purchase. Paving work. So Landfill Road, if you've been down it recently, the gravel portion is complete. They have not paved it yet because they are doing groundwork now on Bear Hill Road. That is there's a section of Bear Hill Road that the surface is, or the gravel base is coming up through the pavement. So we are trying to get the proper base underneath that pavement. So they are excavating in that area and putting down proper base. And then once that is all complete, then they're going to go through both areas and pave. So that should be in the coming weeks here. And then lastly is speeding concerns. I've had numerous calls, and the town office in general has had an uptick in concerned citizens about people zipping through neighborhoods, even back roads, excessive speeds, and especially where school's about to let out, kids walk, just everybody's walking around town. It's nice weather, you want to be outside. We really want to make sure everyone is safe, pedestrians as well as the drivers. So please obey the stop signs, drive responsibly. That's the first thing you learned in driver's ed. You had to do all those things when you got your license. So PD will be focusing on enforcing that. I wish Chief was here to speak on that, but I will say that is on his radar. And all of their radar, no pun intended on that one. But yeah, so please slow down and be mindful when going through, because I know with the detours and everything right now, people are using side streets to get around, to avoid the stop sign, the freeway stop sign, and that's causing more traffic to be on the side roads. And it's just, yeah, we want to just be sure we don't have any accidents and everyone's safe. Those are all my big updates.
Thank you very much.
Steve, can we ask a question or wait?
Yeah, I think we're trying out a new process. I think if we've got direct questions that pertain to something she just covered, then I think we should fire away now. If you want to talk further about one of these topics, then we'll wait for a little concession.
So my first comment regarding the new website, I'm assuming residents are using it. How do they, and who do they bring to the attention of either mistakes or
Yep.
comments? Who do
Yeah.
those go to?
So that is something, I didn't officially announce that, hey, website is out today, but I would like if the comments are directed to me.
Okay.
Just as I'll field them all, have them come into my inbox, it gets poured into, and then respective departments that are in charge of their page can handle. It's like, hey, the link's not working for whatever reason now. It happened to us earlier. The link was working and then like an hour later, the link wasn't working. So, yeah, that's basically how. So just directly send it to one person, which would be me, and then it could get filtered out to whoever is in charge of it.
And then the other one is in regards to the speeding concern, that sort of
Yeah.
thing. And I know we do not have a common sense department here. However, could we somehow put up signs both at the, West Main, Congo Church area and Route 7 to say, do not block this intersection?
Right.
Because you have people going through, the light is green, there are 4 cars in front of them, they are stopped, the light turns red, no one can come down West Main Street. So again, it's common sense that people realize that you are blocking the intersection, hence people were literally up to almost Green Street the other day because they could not get through, and it's not July yet.
Yeah,
So-
that is definitely a concern. I had that discussion actually with Public Works about that and actually kind of revisiting the whole thing with Maine DOT as well.
Okay.
If the stop sign detour, three-way stop is going to be, they need to monitor that basically and how traffic is gonna be handled for, because we are gonna have backup, and people unfortunately probably block the intersection, but yeah, definitely there could be some kind of, I can even ask DOT to see if they can put a bigger sign saying, don't block.
Well,
No,
no,
but
this is a
it's-
totally different sign. It is saying, do not
Yeah.
block the intersection. That again,
Right.
common sense tells you shouldn't block it, but that's missing for some people, in my view.
Yeah.
Alcina, just,
Yep.
do you have like an ETA on when they'll be back to pave the landfill road so that the community knows we're trying to get there?
Yeah, so I reached out I was trying to get a hold of Ben, who's in charge of the project. I could not get a hold of him today, but I know they're doing groundwork on Bear Hill. They just started that today, excavating. I don't foresee that being a massive, like it was multi-week type of event. He did assure me a couple weeks ago that it would be paved in time for the Whoopie Pie Festival, but I don't know if the timetable changed where we had the rain and they had delays on landfill, but I'll try to get something. And once I find something out, I'll send it out to everybody so they're aware when paving is gonna happen.
And it's just a lot, you mentioned it, but the link to speeding and the detours in town and we advertise Facebook, your
Yeah.
website, something's logged in. It'll be short-tempered community. Speeding's not the right way to take it out.
Yeah, no, definitely not.
Anything else directly related to, all right, then we shall go to open session, starting with our public hearing on this whole referendum ballot, which we'll have copies of and copies in the back for anybody who wants them.
happened.
there any comments from the public on this? Any comments from the board? Any questions? We've been through a very lengthy process, which a lot of people put a lot of time into. The numbers were all this was verified at our town meeting weeks ago. So this is more or less just the formality of the format itself, rather than the content, which is mistakes. So we're all set. All right, then I will close the public hearing on that. Open session to the public, and I will, because there's a number of people here, and we actually got 2 executive sessions tonight. Just a reminder, our open sessions, try to keep it to 3 minutes per person. And we can go from there, but that's like the starting concept. Okay. Open session.
I don't care.
Show me how it's done.
I'd like to discuss the parking issues.
Hang on one second. Just a reminder, announce who you are, even though we know who you are.
I'm sorry, Pamela Walton.
Thank you.
And I own a business downtown, Foxcroft Printers. I had quite a parking issue even before I purchased the business. I was in here approximately a year and a half ago, trying to get something done about parking issues. I was told at that time there was no parking ordinance in the town of Dover. A year later, I find out, yes, there is a parking ordinance in the town of Dover and has been since 2019, 16. I'm quite upset because I've been fighting about it for a long time. I have people that own businesses on the same street that park out on Main Street all day long. There's people that rent apartments there that I'm not sure if the apartments are even supposed to be there. I don't know if they were ever installed properly, gotten permits and whatnot. But there are apartments there. So then you've got the renters parking on Main Street all day long. I don't understand how anyone is supposed to operate a business if they have no parking area at all for customers to stop and go to these businesses. I've complained steady. I walked down, I talked to each business owner. I was told by one first, they would see what they could do. They'd speak to their renters. They didn't. I went back down, talked to them again. And then I was told, do what you need to do, what you feel you need to do. And that's when I started this whole thing a year and a half ago about parking. Since then, I really still haven't gotten anywhere because no one seems to want to do anything about it. I feel that 2-hour parking means 2-hour parking.
Mhm.
They did put my signs back up, or not my signs, but put signs back up. I'm not extremely happy with the signs that they put up because the one down toward the end of the street where the freeway stop is now, it says 2-hour parking from here to corner. There's one parking spot there. Up in front of that, toward the four-way intersection, where they put in the new crosswalk, they have taken out several parking spots on both sides of the street. So the other parking sign is right after that new walk sign. So there's at least one parking area in front of that. I'm sorry, I'm going to say the business name, but it's in front of Mallett's, and Mallett's basically refused to move their vehicles off of Main Street during the day. Apparently, they don't feel that rules apply to them. And the sign that's up in front of their place right now, which again, I'm not happy with wording, because it says from here to corner, 2-hour parking from here to corner. So to me, if anyone wants to fight that, they can say, this spot's exempt because the sign's down there, even though the entire street is supposed to be 2-hour parking.
Mhm.
So since then, basically, again, every time I check, I'm told, well, the police department needs to get chalk for the tires. And they need tickets. I mean, they should already have tickets, but, so anyway, yesterday, a vehicle there from before I started work. I know it was there from 7:45 in the morning till after 4 in the evening when I left work. And I came back to town after that, same vehicle sitting right there. She wasn't even open for business. She had a close sign on her business all day long. Why is she taking up the parking area? And why isn't something being done? There's at least 3 vehicles that sit there all day long, almost every day of the week.
Yeah.
And there's 2 others that are there most of the time. Today, they didn't happen to be. I don't know if it's because parking area was taken up or not. And again, there's another vehicle that is usually there most of the time. Doesn't do me any good to go and talk to anyone.
Yeah.
So I would like for the police department to start monitoring. I know they have better things to do, and I don't expect them to be there every minute. Don't expect them to, babysit, so to speak. But I do expect them to keep track of, okay, I know there's 3 vehicles. I've got the plate numbers, I've got the makes of the vehicles and everything. Those are the 3 that sit there all the time. They've all been told they can park elsewhere, but they won't because, for lack of better words, they're lazy. They don't want to walk across the street or down the street 10 feet.
So, we've had some conversation about this very recently, and it's one of these things, and the pressures are being felt more because we've got the construction going on, and like you said, the crosswalk eliminated a bunch of spaces. Because I know I've been paying attention to it since it got brought to my attention. All the years going through town, I usually was able to peel off and park in one of those spaces, and I've noticed for some time now that my chances of getting a space on the street has gone down dramatically. And yet, I've also recognized a few vehicles that seem to always be there. Protection committee. Yep, exactly. So what we're gonna do is we are going to, especially that section of North Street, because there is limited other spaces available as opposed to down in Main Street where the municipal parking lot is, or over by the Congo. So, Jane?
Well, I was gonna say, I would suggest that in lieu of coming back in 2 weeks or waiting for the next meeting, you can always pick up the phone and call the non-emergency number at the PD and say, this is the situation. And again, availability of the PD is either to come down or they at least have it on their radar versus waiting until our next meeting. 'Cause there's
I
nothing.
wasn't happy one of the last times I complained because I was told that someone was going by there and they happened to notice that there were open spots down in
Yeah,
front.
it-
And I said, that doesn't matter.
Well, again, I think we all need to learn how to complain, quote unquote, in that you have a concern that this red vehicle license number, blah, 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 is parked and it's been there since 8 o'clock and it's now 4 o'clock. That's very clear action that the PD can either respond to it versus, well, there's an open space right beside it. Your issue is that people are going beyond the 2-hour block of time.
Yes, and I have so many customers that will come in and say they couldn't make it into my store. They've made many trips by, but they couldn't come into my store because there's no parking.
Yeah.
Yeah, so, I appreciate you coming in, Pam, and I think before people start getting ticketed, I think the PD needs to go to these businesses and say, okay, we're
Yes,
changing,
I did suggest that.
enforcing the parking ordinance.
Yes,
And you might get a warning, but after that, you know, whatever the process
I
is.
have suggested that.
Yeah, I
I-
think that
I-
would be a good thing so
Yeah.
that people understand. We've been doing this for decades, nobody cares, we have an ordinance. But we do have an ordinance and there's gonna be a change about the enforcement, so. I think, I noticed this was in the minutes of our last meeting. And now here it comes up again, so.
Yeah.
And, you know, we're anticipating new businesses if we are able to move forward with the work that you spoke about in your report. So we gotta have places for people to park. And also people who rent apartments upstairs downtown need to have a place to be too. So that's a landlord tenant issue, but, I think this brings up a lot of concern for everybody, for the business owners, for people who want to go to the businesses and for people who live downtown. So thank you.
Henry?
I know it doesn't help you for the last year or year and a half or whatever, but I have noticed on social media, but on the website, and there are things in motion, and at least that's a start. Maybe it could have started a year ago, but it sounds like it's in motion now, so not asking you to bear with us, but
Well, I
Yeah,
think we've been very.
I know,
patient.
I agree, but then I'm thinking, it sounds like it's moving right now, so it sounds like. we're-
As long as it keeps moving,
Yeah.
I won't have a problem with that.
Yeah, and like,
Thank you.
and as I said, I think that the construction, has kind of brought it even more to our attention because it's kind of a mess, visual mess in there already. So, yeah, thank you, Pam.
Okay.
Any more questions?
I'm just gonna ask an update, about, you know, in a month or something, so,
We usually report at the
Yeah.
committee level.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
so that would be good to include.
Okay, good. All right, next.
I'm Randy Swallow, and over the last 4.5 months, I've made more than adequate justification to dissolve the water board and to replace it with a board of selectmen. During that 4.5 months, we discovered that it's a legislative issue and that our contact person is Chad
Perfect.
Perkins. Now, at the last meeting that I attended, I explained that I've taken as far as I could take it, and then it was up to the select board to take it the rest of the way. And I didn't come to the last meeting because I wanted to make sure that I gave you more than adequate time to talk to Chad Perkins on this issue. And I'm here to find out what the results of that contact has been.
None of us, as far as I know, have actually talked to Chad about this. However, there is should I say, we are going to check and see. I think I'd be willing to do this too, because we're in public works committee, that would sort of fall under that. But, to speak to the board and see what their feelings are on it, because if they want to remain independent, then it's a fight, and there has to be a pretty strong, compelling reason to go
I don't
to
think there's any
battle.
trouble with that, finding further justification.
Yeah, it's not just you. I mean, there's a lot of people in town, and just because, and I'm not saying you brought forth all this stuff.
Mhm.
There isn't anybody else bringing forward similar issues. And that doesn't diminish at all what you feel has been done to you. But in terms of going to war basically and lawyering up and going to, it would need to be something pretty,
Right, okay,
widespread.
now, about a week and a half ago, I had the opportunity to speak to a former senator. And I told him briefly what the issue was. And I explained how the water board is voting themselves in, that nobody attends the meetings. There was 5 openings, 5 members there, and they voted themselves in. He wanted to know, well, how can they possibly do that? My reply was because nobody will do anything about it.
Yeah, and we have no purview over that at
And
all.
then I also told him that, the meetings are not recorded as well. And, nobody knows when or where they're gonna meet unless they contact the water district. The water district is working in collusion with the water board, so they prepare for any issues in advance. And so I feel very confident. In fact, I could bring up more justification, money that they have cost the town and the residents. Mentioned once before about fire hydrant placements, that they have gone and taken people's property without compensating them or notifying them properly and going through the proper chain of command to do so. And it's a continuing thing. It's been going on for decades because they are untouchable. Nobody can do anything. They can steal people's property, force people out of their homes. And all this time, nothing has been done. Even decades ago, when they first put water meters in town here, I wasn't living, I had a mobile home on the lot that I currently own at that time. I was living in Sangerville at that time. I got a call from the police department, said that there was water gushing out from underneath my mobile home. And so I came down to investigate it, and what they had done is they had torn the skirt off of my trailer, tore the insulation out of my pipes, put it in a meter, and left it just like that. So cold weather come around, it blew the frost bug on the meter. This was like, well, you all know when it was roughly that they started, and there's been problem after problem after problem. But like you mentioned, one person. But who was investigated? I mean, what am I supposed to do? Take out an ad in the paper? Anybody that's got complaints, let's meet together?
Yeah,
You
so
know,
there are processes for a citizen to challenge things that are going on with any legal entity.
sure.
And that's not through us because we have no authority over them.
Right.
So I mean, to the extreme, you could file a lawsuit against them. That's not us. Again, they are not us.
What I'm trying to do though is transfer the control from the water board to you people.
Yeah.
I'm not asking for any special favors. I'm looking for the betterment of the town.
Yeah.
And whereas you're overseers of the town, I feel that falls into your laps.
Technically doesn't because they are a separate entity, but
Their own charter.
they have their own charter, they have their own rules. We have no oversight over
And
them.
that's what I'm fighting to have changed.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And that's why I feel that it's up to you to contact Chad Perkins and discuss this issue. Like you mentioned before, that the fire department was under the same conditions years ago.
Yeah, and for all we know, the water district might very well be amenable to this, and we don't have to go to war with
Mhm.
a separate entity.
Right?
So, one of us, and I volunteer myself to go, or if you want to do it, Kevin.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. So Kevin's the chair of the committee where this post falls under Public Works, solid waste and wastewater. So, Kevin will go meet with somebody in the water district and talk to them about what their feelings are about.
Well, see, now we're talking water district here. I'm referring to the, water board. The water district is getting their instructions from the water board.
Right,
And that's the problem is the problem is with the water board, not the water district.
their
There's their history of illegal activity.
well, the thing is, it is its own entity. So
That's
they
what
have a
I'm,
board.
exactly
All
what I'm fighting
entities have
against.
boards. We are the board for the town.
Right.
So,
I only wanted to just say, I'm sorry. Is it clarification on, is it Randy who needs Mr. Swallow? Is it Randy Swallow that needs to approach Chad Perkins, or is it us? He was under the understanding it wasn't him, but if he is, that should be his next step.
well,
And then,
anybody can approach an elected an elected official, which Chad is, and pursue a course of action. Even if we all said, no, we have no interest in it, you could still pursue it. We have no say over what you do and what Chad does.
Mhm.
So, but whether or not we are going to do anything directly, that's, a separate issue. Jane?
And I was just gonna add, Chad was or Representative Perkins was at our last board meeting. And again, there was, at least I had a laundry list of issues that affect this town, that the control and or enforcement is at the state level. And so he is our representative, needs to either hear those issues and or.
If I would have known he was here, I would have been here.
And I specifically asked the question, how best to get a hold of you? And he said, give him a phone call.
Yep,
So if you don't have his number, my phone's in the
Oh,
car,
I
but
can
I'll
get-
give it to you and go direct.
but I just feel that, if you would pursue this as a board in whole, they would stand a much better chance than I would by myself. And you would be the one that would be accepting the responsibility. And so you would have to give the approval to accept it.
Yeah, well, ultimately, the townspeople have to approve it. We can't approve that. That's not the way
Well,
it
then,
works.
whatever the process would be,
Vote by the
because
town.
I definitely think that this is gonna be much, much more beneficial for the town if it was all under one umbrella.
Mhm.
And, like I said, nobody attends the meetings. What's their purpose? And when was this started? Well, I mean, it had to start somewhere,
18 something, what was?
then I think it's.
1880?
Then there we go. Then it's an antiquated process that needs to be amended.
Cindy?
Yeah, I think we have a plan of, Kevin's gonna speak with appropriate people as our representative of the Works Committee. And, I think we can go from there, but I think Steve also said, we're not hearing from a lot of citizenry about problems with their water. So we've only heard from you.
Mhm.
And I understand what you've brought to us and I understand your concern. But in order for the select board to wholeheartedly jump into a big change in how water service is conducted here, I think we would need to know that there are more people concerned about it.
Okay, I can tell you right now, start looking where the hydrant placements have been over the last 20 years. Contact these property owners and find out if they were notified prior to the installation. Find out if they have been compensated for the loss of their property. I think what you're gonna find is nobody has been. These people have been breaking the law, violating their rights for decades. And I was told, when they put the fire hydrant in the middle of my driveway, I was told, quote, from the superintendent, that I can put it any damn place I want, and that's where it's gonna stay. So what does a homeowner do? I mean, he's a superintendent. Who am I? I'm just a homeowner, and how often does somebody put a fire hydrant in the middle of somebody's driveway? But see, this is a behavior that they've been getting away with for decades. Right now, Robin Merrill is running the water district. She's pretending that she's an attorney. Now,
Well,
like I said, I got
we-
documentation
yeah,
to show
we're-
some of the things. I know you don't want to hear names or
No,
stuff.
it's just, we understand. You've explained this to us multiple times. I think we all have a very good sense of what you feel has happened.
Mhm.
So we don't need any more information about that because I think we're all up to speed with what has happened to you specifically. So, and, she's not here, or nobody from there is here to defend themselves. So it's not fair to just keep going on that. You've presented your issues to us. We've definitely heard them.
Well, I'm bringing it up because I don't get a whole lot of feedback. And so I don't know if I was told that I was trying to dissolve the water district before. And so I don't know what's sinking in or what people are understanding or what they're not understanding
Yeah.
because I'm not getting an exchange of ideas.
Yeah,
So,
we understand what you're saying. We are looking into it even further.
Mhm.
But as we said, there has not been an upswell of people coming to us. And that might not be meaningful to you because of what you feel has been done to yourself, but from where we sit, we have limited time, limited energy, limited money.
Sure.
And if only one person is coming to us in the 10, 15, 20 years that we've been here, I'm just saying, you have to understand that we can't just, if one person comes in and says, I want you to go get an act of the legislature to change something, we can't just drop everything that we're doing and
No.
do only that.
And when this first thing started to develop years ago, I came to the select board and it was cut off immediately. Said, that's not, we can't do anything about it. That's the water board's business. We can't touch it. Nothing we can do. And this is the response that everybody has gotten.
Right. As I say.
And so what do they do?
But that is a fact, and we can't tell you something that is not true. We do not have authority over them. And if you feel that you're wrong, there are legal avenues for you to use to get yourself the remediation or resolution that you're looking for. That those options are available to you and they have nothing to do with us.
I don't feel that that is my responsibility because
It is your responsibility.
because it's involving the entire town.
Yeah.
And it's not just me. People are told different things from the water district and the superintendents, they're making up their own laws. So what are you supposed to do? Am I supposed to dig into my pocket to hire attorneys?
That's unfortunately the way the system works, is if you are wronged, you are supposed to take responsibility for yourself. We are not responsible for what the water district or the water board does because it's not in our purview. Legally, we can't do anything,
But
we are talking to see what we can do. But there's no direct action for us to take.
I look at it as you are the protectors of the town and
We
its
are.
residents. Right. And we have a group of people that are gone renegade.
Yes, we understand. We've heard this. And like I said, we are doing something about it, but you have to understand from our position, we have a lot of other things to do to take care of the townspeople. And so this is not I know it's a major concern for you. And we are taking it very seriously and we are talking about it. We are spending our time on it. But this is not going to be a simple fix. And because we have no legal authority to do anything. And that's the fact of it.
And that's what I'm trying to do, is make it legal authority that you would have.
Yeah.
So I still don't know where we're going from here.
Well, we're going to do a little bit more digging and we'll just see where that goes.
Okay? But I just want you to know how you would feel if you got up one morning and found a fire hydrant in the middle of your driveway.
I understand. And like I said, we've heard from you.
And I'm not the only one. Is that what I need to do, is contact and get as many angry people
That is
together and bring them in
actually-
here?
That is actually one thing you could do. Okay, yeah, Randy, we're gonna move on. but
Yeah.
Thank you for still bringing this to our
I'm
attention.
gonna be keeping tabs on everything because there's been a wrong done in town here and it's about time it was corrected.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good to see you again, Vance.
Okay, anybody else? All right, close open session. For the public, open session for the board. You go first.
Okay, can we get a copy of the annual report? At least I'm interested in reading. I looked on the website, it's not there, so
There, yeah.
at least I have a hard copy of the annual report. And then also, I noticed on the list, can we get a job description for the election clerks and a sense of what training they have? So that, again, if other people, you see the title, but you don't understand what the job is and or responsibility, et cetera. So if there's not one developed, could one be developed so that we can do a little PR for other folks to step forward?
I have my own thing about the temporary speed bumps, the seasonal speed bumps that have been put on Harrison.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Not surprisingly, I think other people are interested in having them on their roads. And yet I cannot see our town having 400 or 500 of them.
Correct.
So what?
Not feasible.
Yeah, not feasible, and I don't think that anybody would really like that. So what do we have? This is the first set I think I've ever seen. in-
Oh,
in
no,
town.
we've had them. Yeah.
River Street.
River Street.
Oh,
We have them.
yes.
Yeah.
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 So what process do we have, or is there a process that we have about determining what basically where we should be putting these for how long? And so that people on streets that feel that they should have them, that they know that there's some process by figuring that out.
Right. So, for instance, this is coming up for Essex Street right now with the detour. There are kind of people speeding through on Essex now. Because of the detour process and there's far more traffic. So they have also requested speed bumps out that way, Lincoln Street, you know, all that. And yes, we cannot put speed bumps on every single, road in town. As far as the process, really, there is not a set in stone type of process. I had about 3 homeowners on Harrison Avenue, and then on top of that, a couple more on Autumn here, telling me how bad, especially during school, people are just going right through stop signs, you know, and that type of thing, or they're from Summer Street to the stop sign on Harrison, there, people are just, you know, gunning it. So to kind of curb that, I said, well, let's put up the temporary speed bump, see if that just gets people's attention, which it did. And yeah, and because people are also now cutting through this residential area to circumvent the three-way stop as well. And so, and that is another thing, and especially, I'll go on the record and say this, I caught myself the other day, I didn't realize how quick, because I crossed over Park Street to come on to Autumn, thank you. I'm on Morton right now. Come to Autumn, so of course I've gunned it to go across North. And before I reached, even the bridge, the bridge, I was almost like at 40 miles an hour, and my car's quiet, I don't know how fast I'm going, and like, it just I was like, holy crap, so put on the brakes, you know? Yeah, so I'm going on the record saying, hey, I totally went above the speed limit, so I'm welcoming a ticket if you'd like. But that is the thing, is like, people do need to be cognizant in the fact that like, we're no longer in these cars that are rattling, and you know when you're going fast and you're shaking and everything. It's smooth ride, you don't even realize how fast you're going. But as far as like again, the process part is just seeing these, we were having issues with River Street. It's slowed down because no one can use Essex Street or, you know, go across the bridge. So there's no traffic really going down River Street now. But it's
So
been
we
like the
haven't put
heavy.
speed bumps down there this spring, have we?
No,
Okay.
there's no speed
They've
bump.
gone elsewhere.
Yeah.
Too.
What was that?
They've gone elsewhere. They're not on
Correct.
Main Street. You put them
Yeah.
out.
Obviously, you can reduce speed by taking a bridge out.
Right.
Or limiting access, but now you're increasing speeds on other areas that never have.
So,
those.
so if a citizen on a particular street feels that they want one
Yeah,
probably in front of their house, should they call you?
yes, and I will, and that's the thing, it's not gonna be on every person's getting a speed bump
No.
outside of their house type deal. But if there is enough warrants between Public Works looking at it, myself and the PD saying, hey, yeah, this is a strategical spot. Then yeah, we could see putting a speed bump there. I mean, that's the biggest thing, is like slowing, especially at this Four Corners stop. You know, people were just rolling through the stop sign. I've even seen school buses, like they said last week, going through, and I've been watching traffic, and it's an issue. And especially school time, kids are walking, leaving, it's nice weather.
Yeah.
People are out and about, and then also on top of that, through summer, they're flying through the residential areas as well. And more people are outside. We want to be sure that people are doing speed
Yep.
limits in town.
Yep.
But yeah, they can get in contact with me. They can report to PD their concerns about their speeding concerns, or again, speed bumps. That'll also get back to me. And then that's usually when we have an internal conversation between Public Works, myself, and PD as to like,
Where to do it.
where
Okay,
would it be best, or where could it help benefit the best?
okay. That sounds good to me.
Yeah, I'm just thinking that's like one tool to address this larger issue that we have, which is people not driving safely. And so that really goes back to the police department. And I know they can't be at every intersection all the time, but I do think, we need to see more of a presence. Officers who are up there doing, speed monitoring in different places, so, they may decide, oh, a speed bump at this particular strategic location, but it's really, what we're hearing about. I used to hear from people frequently, people go to trust, it's 25 miles an hour wherever you are in town.
Yeah.
And so nobody should be going more than that, and as folks have said, we all learned that in drive red in residential areas, you go 25. But right now, we're hearing it from a lot of people because of the changes in traffic patterns and
Yeah.
construction.
One thing to have somebody going 35 or 40 on the state road going through town. It's a whole other thing having that happen on, say, Pleasant Street or Harrison.
Yeah.
Speed sensitive, speed actuated spike strips. I think
Right.
I think
Barriers
that
that
will
come up or
fix the
something.
problem in a week.
Yeah.
I cannot just mention that 30 years ago, Australians just set up a tripod with a camera on it. They take your picture.
Yeah.
And they send you your bill and take your points off your license.
I got one.
2 weeks later, pretty straightforward.
I got one from Italy.
Finally.
I didn't even know I was in the bus lane.
It'll
And
soon
I-
slow people down.
Yeah, yeah.
But the legislature,
Picture of me there.
well, that was a bill before the
Yeah.
legislature, to pilot that on the turnpike, and it doesn't go anywhere. Makes too much sense.
It does. Okay, anything else? Open board? Yes.
Can I just ask the every 2 week question of the Essex Street Bridge, and when will there look like, or have you had any notice of when it might look like there's some real action going on there?
So it looks
Even
like,
though it's the state.
yeah. So it looks like there's like really nothing being done, because there really is nothing being done. There's background work happening, but really the big holdup is the fact that there is a wire that needs to get moved. They do not have the authority to move it. So they are waiting for the company to come and move the wire out of the way so that they can then start bringing in the crane to start dismantling everything. I do have, what's that?
The crane's up.
Oh, is
Oh,
it?
good.
Okay, good. So maybe it's the wire.
Yay.
So maybe they moved the wire. I do have a meeting with them tomorrow afternoon. It's a kind of like every 2 weeks we have a
Right.
briefing type of thing.
Thank you.
Yeah, unfortunately, doesn't lay with our select board meetings, but, I'll try to get an update as far as where they're sitting. Cause it looks like, yeah, they're not doing anything, but there's a ton of background work that is happening. You just don't see the fruits of it.
Thank you.
Excellent. All right. Anything else? We'll close open session to the board and adjustments to the agenda. We have 2 things to add. Let's see. Okay, we've got the other executive session has been added to the agendas that we have, so that's taken care of. We have adjustment to the agenda for hiring of an assistant local emergency manager. So that would go under, well, actually, we don't have town managers report. A, B, C, no, just be D. Okay, adjustment made. So move on to code enforcement update. Nan?
You folks had asked for an update on Shore Road South, and I went out today. The lot is still wet. I mean, it's still very wet, so the camper can't be moved yet. They do have their plumbing permit and are going to put a bathroom in the upstairs of their home so that they can use that for the facility. And that's kind of where we are right now. They're in the process of doing that. They received their plumbing permit 2 weeks ago, I think. I have that in my office now. That's kind of where we stand on that.
Okay, questions? Emery first.
Does a plumbing permit mean they have the go-ahead to put in the septic tank and their leach field, or is that all in and they're getting the permit to put their toilet in, or is this all at once up, it's gonna happen and it will be correct
They
and
have,
inspected?
they have their septic and their leach field. They have permission from the plumbing inspector now to put the bathroom in, and he will inspect that as the process goes forward.
Process, sorry,
Sorry.
timeline for this process.
Do you have a timeline? The homeowner is here. Do you have a timeline for when you're gonna get the facility up and running in the house?
I'm working on it every time I can. I work 7 days a week. And I'm working for free for Rowell's right now because of my ex-wife, so I don't like to air my laundry. But all the materials I need to buy to do all of this is purchased out of my pockets. And we're doing the best we can to purchase what's needed to make it all work.
And I'm just asking for a reasonable time frame. We're talking 3 months, 6 months, next year,
2 weeks.
2 weeks.
It should be in working condition by fall. And hopefully I'll be moved in by the fall.
And that's, of course, that's separate from when the ground dries up and things move. Oh, that's a second issue.
Yeah, when it, yeah, and the ground.
Well, it shouldn't be an
Wet.
issue to have my camper parked in my driveway.
But to move it to the other side to hook it up to the septic.
If I've got a working bathroom, I still need to have it hooked up to my septic.
As long as you're not using the camper and you're using your bathroom, you'll be fine that way. I mean, if you're just sleeping in the camper and then using the bathroom.
That's the whole plan. That's why I'm doing all of this.
Right.
Yeah, I just wanted to make sure that lines up with our shoreland zoning, with all the requirements of keeping a safe and clean lake.
Right. Oh, yes, yeah.
So what we're hearing is what needs to happen, and we don't need to be concerned about this lengthy timeline.
We're gonna stay on top of it. I mean, I'm gonna stay in contact with the owners, and if it gets prolonged too long, then we're gonna have to do something. But, there is nothing leaking. There's nothing going into, to contaminate the resource. The process is that if the camper stays there, it's supposed to be hooked up. That's the state law. But if they're not using the camper, if they're using the bathroom in the home, that negates that problem. If they're not using the bathroom in the camper, if they're only using the bathroom in the home, that will negate the issue there. Then it would just be like a bunkhouse. Or,
But from now till fall, they're
Um,
using the campers facilities to,
and yeah, if it's gonna be until fall, the camper will need to be moved and hooked up to the septic system.
All right, so thank you, Nan, for that. So we have a special amusement permit for Central Theater. Looked at this last meeting. We all know what it's for.
We're very amusing.
Yes, you're very special too.
I move to approve the 2026 special amusement permit for Center Theater.
I'll second it.
Any other discussions except how do we get our whoopie pies?
13.
All in favor? And thank you, Patrick, for all that you do for the biggest event in town.
County.
Yeah, in the county. We could even say most of the state. But,
There you go.
okay, C, approval for Nanette Redmond as moderator warden for the June 9th election. Do I have a motion on that?
So move.
Okay, second. Any discussion? Yeah, you will abstain. Great. All right. All in favor? You're it. Okay, D, hiring of assistant local emergency manager. You wanna
Yeah.
walk us through that?
So Chief Burns wasn't able to make it tonight, so I'm gonna kind of fumble my way through this.
Okay,
So there was a posting for an assistant local emergency management director, or manager, for the town, posted, I think it was back in April, done through the interviewing process and all, and, ultimately, the hiring of Jamie Duggan as the assistant, that's a mouthful right now, assistant local emergency manager. There we go. So yeah, this is going to be fun. This is not, it is creating a new position, but it's a per diem position. It already, Chief Burns already has funds for it within the police department, and there will be a multitude of, items that will be taken off his plate in this role, as far as, because as we all know, and I know he's expressed this during the 2023 storm that we had, police chief and also blocking roads and trying to be an emergency manager is not a feasible item. And so there's a lot of things looking ahead for our town, being proactive instead of reactive, which I greatly respect him for that. And in that forethought and thinking in that. So that is why we had discussion through protection committee, and then also, him and I on that. And basically, she'll be able to do all the emergency operations plans for the town, reviewing. I'm sure there's a laundry list that he probably already has set out for her to tackle on that. So yeah, I think that's the gist. Is there any other questions?
Well, again, like she said, protection talked about this, and again, the component of the warming and cooling centers and ramming up our volunteer base, and let's do that versus, other staffing it.
Yeah, it also takes things off my plate as well, because right now I'm the one that does the warming, cooling kind of deal, and so, yeah, gifting that all in that direction. Yeah, we've had an extensive discussion on that, so for additional support in that.
Cindy?
Yeah, just, so it's per diem, but she's also gonna be doing some policy development and stuff, so what does that look like?
Well, so-
Yeah, just say more about what it looks like.
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to speak for Chief Burns as far as like what he's thinking hours wise, as far as that goes. But as things come up, I mean, I'm sure right now there is plenty of work that needs to obviously be caught up on. I'll be honest, our emergency operations plan has been sitting on a desk since I was at the county. And that was how many years ago? That needs to get updated now, like 4 times over at this point. And it's just basically also reviewing even our safety plans to the town and that. So it's a per diem quasi part-time position. But I don't know specifically hours wise if there's a set number of hours per week. It's just gonna be based on what the
Needs.
what type of, organizing, say, well, Patrick left, but organizing with festivals and things that are happening in town, that type of thing. And just being a liaison between the town and the county, In that, and then developing, other events that are happening. So also with special event policy, that's a position that should be looped in as far as looking at a whole for the whole, the event, whatever the event might be, and then looking at an emergency manager's standpoint versus just police, fire type of thing.
Sounds good.
And I know Jamie has great experience in this regard. Were there other people interviewed?
Yes, I believe there were 3 candidates.
So, we're looking for a motion to, officially hire, appoint.
Yeah.
Appoint,
It's an appointment.
yeah, okay. So do I have a motion to appoint?
I will move to appoint Jamie as the local emergency management person.
Assistant local emergency manager.
Julie will do that.
Yeah.
Second.
Okay, in a second, any more discussion about it? Marie?
Will Jamie be on call for the Whoopie Pie Festival? Just,
I've already,
yeah, okay.
I've already started working on it,
Thank you.
even though you haven't approved me yet. I've already started working on it, yes.
Okay, great.
Thank you.
All in favor? Okay. And thank you very much for stepping up to do that.
Thank you. And so the crane comment, I mean, it is part of my job now.
Yeah.
Thank you
Thank
very
you.
much.
Thank you. Okay, yeah. Correspondence, but- open session, closing remarks, public? Word?
Last night was the, school board budget, the school budget district-wide meeting, which was nicely attended, which I appreciated. Also, am I remembering correctly that you were going to go to one of the water district meetings? And did you have a result of that?
Yeah, I have not, because every single water district, because I believe it's usually it's our first select board meeting at 5 o'clock, right? But every
So
time
no,
that we,
no.
every time that we've had something, or I've had a meeting, so I was not, have not been able to attend, but I'm looking forward to going to the next. I should be able to make that one.
Yes, we changed our schedule, the summer
Correct.
schedule.
I'll have to confer with them as far as their schedule, to make sure they didn't change
You're right,
for holiday, or for the winter, summer
summer,
schedule.
no
But I
winter.
will check, yes, with them.
Yep,
Did you have something?
I will when you're done.
Okay, well, I just have one real quick one. And I forgot to bring this up with the Warren article. I noticed that Joe Vale is not listed. Did he not get paid?
I
Can you
will,
research that?
yeah, I'll
Okay.
double check on that.
right. Yep, and we had, I believe admin committee came up with a policy for it, that we cover that, so. Yeah. Thank you for that, for finding that.
Well, no, the policy is the select board gets the stipend in May.
Yeah.
Every year.
Everybody.
And I just noticed that he was not listed. So
Oh,
wonder
Eagle eye,
why.
eagle eye.
I do read things. I do.
Emery?
Well, you make it, as it's my last official select board meeting, I thought I'd just mention that it's been a pleasure and really probably a privilege and an honor to serve on the select board. Thoroughly enjoyed myself, but I decided I might move on, so here I am. Thank you.
Thank
Well,
you.
Thanks for the opportunity.
Yeah. Let's give you a round. Yeah,
You are gonna be missed.
even I will miss you.
Yeah, thank you.
We should have had a cupcake or something.
Yeah.
Tracy, did you have something?
No.
Thank you.
Okay. All right, well, thank you, Emery, for putting in your 3 years.
Can I make the motion? Oh, no.
No, you can't make a
I
motion.
didn't know if it was motion to end, but it's to go into. I'll leave it to the girls.
Okay, if there's no more open session, then I will close open session. And now we're going to go to executive sessions. So now, you can,
Make a motion that we enter into executive session. Is that the correct thing?
yes,
As per, oh, wait a minute.
As written.
Wait a minute. As, no, I can say it. MRSA Title I, something 4056A, personal. Got to do the other one?
No.
No. I'm going.
Yeah, we're going some out. All right, the second, and all in favor?
Do I get to vote?
Yeah.
Thank
Thank you all for
you.
coming.
You're a select board member, and so.
Make that, thanks, yeah.
Sorry.
You have several more weeks.
I know that.
You're still our whipping boy.
Yes, we're still. Thank you.
We're gonna have like 6 public works meetings.
Thank you. I do